check this discussion out, if you can call it that, between one anchor and a Republican congressman on CNN earlier today. And I think you get the point.
Well, but so no matter what a judge
he's taking the side, and he's taking the side of a bunch of criminals.
He hasn't taken any. He hasn't taken any side yet, Congressman. He hasn't taken any side yet. All he's done is put a stay on the White House action here, so that he can review their use of their novel use, frankly, of the Alien Enemies
Oh, come
Act.
on, these guys. Listen. These guys, the difference between God and these judges is God knows he's not one of these judges. They're arrogant. They practice this type of thing all the time. And if you had a conservative one doing it, you all would be raising total hell. But because it's a left-winger and it's CNN, you all take that side.
This isn't a question about the media. This isn't a question about the media. No one's taking a side here. Congressman,
yes,
no one's taking a side here.
He is not.
I'm asking you about the Constitution. Is asking about the Constitution. Is asking about the Constitution taking a side. All I'm asking you is about the Constitution, what you think of it, and what you would advise this White House and your feeling about judicial rulings. And that seems to be upsetting you. I'm just trying to get your position on this and what you would advise the White House going forward.
It's not upsetting. I guess what upsets me is that you all at CNN continuously take the side of the far left, and that's why your ratings continue to plummet. And I do not ever understand why y'all do that. Every time. I know you got to take the opposite side on everything, but you all are wrong on this one. Listen, this is a gang that took over an apartment complex in Colorado. They murdered people. They are criminals.
We're trying to understand. Now, you can argue. Congressman,
what is wrong with you all? You are so out of touch with what's 85% of this country does not support what you are spewing out right now.
We haven't spewed. The only one spewing is the guy who's talking uninterrupted right now.
How long does it take him to review this stuff? How long does it take him to review this stuff? These judges, he'll sit on his ass for months so these criminals can stay in this country. This is all this is. This is overreach. And I'll guarantee you, if his kids had been murdered or raped, as has happened in this country to several American citizens by these thugs, that he would be taking a different position. But he's protected. You all protect him. You all have got to come off this. Seriously, I don't know how you all sleep at night when you protect criminals, murderers,
Congressman,
and
rapists. Can I ask you to stop for 1 second here? I think if you go through and analyze the questions.
Yeah, if you go through and analyze the questions, you're still going to come back to this idea that you can't really be stuck there defending the criminals, which I was just going to respond to Spirit-Filled. And again, thank you for the generosity. It is great to have you here on the program again. It's exactly why Democrats are suffering with really, really bad popularity ratings, because Americans see them as not representing them and their values anymore. And that's really, really being driven home over and over and over again. Meanwhile, you've actually got some good things going on. I mean, you've got inflation abating, right? It's CPI, PPI, way lower than expected. That's pretty good. PPI was unchanged the other day. You had CPI, that's producer prices, consumer prices up 2.8% since last year, but came in much lower than expected. And so the trajectory is a good one. On top of it, the good news keeps coming. We just heard that Russia has agreed to a ceasefire on some of the energy facilities in Ukraine. That just came out today. That's really good news. You've got the astronauts returning to Earth today. That's really, really, really good news. So a lot of things are going right, which is why this sort of interesting segment happened on one FBN this morning, a network I used to work for, where the Treasury Secretary was talking about all the great things that are going on in the economy. And he's right, there's a lot of good stuff. But he was asked the other day by an NBC reporter, hey, can you guarantee that there's not going to be a recession? And by the way, the question is just kind of dumb, and I'm going to be catty for a moment, but I'm just going to tell you, as a business reporter, like, there are other ways to ask the question, but you can't ever guarantee that there's not going to be a recession, right? Like, that's just a silly question to ask. But that's what one Kristen Welker, you know, she's the new one at Meet the Press. I guess she took over for Chuck Todd, because they're all dropping like flies. Don't forget, like, networks are changing by the day, by the minute. And so the old guy's out, this Kristen is in, and she asks a dumb question because she doesn't know her stuff when it comes to the economy. She probably should have gone to CNBC and said, hey, can you help me with some questions here? You know, when I was at CNBC, Brian Williams would often do that. Hey, I got the Treasury Secretary coming on. Any good economic questions you can send my way. Well, maybe they're just not so good at CNBC anymore. I don't know who gave her this question, but it was a stupid one, a really, really, really stupid one. And it actually got turned around on her with kind of a big warning, effectively being thrown at her by one Scott Bessent today on Maria's show. Let's take a listen.
Sure. The other day you were asked a question by another outlet. Can you guarantee that we're not going to have a recession? And you wanted to address that this morning.
Yeah, well, look, it was a silly question. Can you guarantee there's not going to be a recession? I can't guarantee anything. I can't guarantee that the journalist who asked me the question that her news program is going to be on in a year. But what I can guarantee you is that there is no reason we need to have a recession. I think that there's the economy in the first quarter is doing better than the media is reporting. I think we're seeing some very good underlying data from credit card companies, from banks. I think that the airlines, which reported some bad passenger numbers, a big amount of that is from federal employees who are not flying right now. So the underlying economy is healthy.
Oops, that wasn't the one I wanted. Oh, we have to put, well, the underlying economy is healthy. Did he say that I can't guarantee it? That I can't guarantee that she's going to have a job? Did I miss that? I was noticing what's going on with the astronauts, and I want to bring you that video too. Okay, as I get the astronaut video, this is called live TV. We're going to listen again and make sure that he gave her that warning.
Sure. The other day you were asked a question by another outlet. Can you guarantee that we're not going to have a recession? And you wanted to address that this morning.
Yeah, well, look, it was a silly question. Can you guarantee there's not going to be a recession? I can't guarantee anything. I can't guarantee that the journalist who asked me the question that her news program is going to be on in a year. But what I can guarantee you is that there is no reason we need to have a recession. I think that there's the economy in the first quarter is doing better than the media is reporting. I think we're seeing some very good underlying data from credit card companies, from banks.
And there we go, right? So that was it. That was it. That was basically the Treasury Secretary sending quite a veiled warning, if you would. Look, I mean, she may not be there. In all seriousness, she may not be there because what's happening in real time is that you have a Treasury Secretary, not even Treasury Secretary, an FCC Secretary that is requiring networks to actually be unbiased. Imagine that. And, they're going to say, oh, this is infringing on our rights. No, it's not. You guys have just been like 99% negative coverage for one person and super positive for the other.